all of your wasted honor, every little past frustration. Take all of your so-called problems, better put them in quotations. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living out the same old moments, knowing you'd be better off instead if you could only say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say. Have no fear for giving in, have no fear for giving over. You better know that in the end it's better to say too much than never to say what you need to say again. Even as the hands are shaking and your faith is broken, even as the eyes are closing, do it with a heart wide open. Yeah, yeah. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to, say what you need to, say what you need to say, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say, 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 say what you need to say.
Well, Pierre, hello to everybody who doesn't know. That is the fabulous Pierre Gautreau, who is our musician here on Wednesday nights, who comes to us to help us kick off our celebration and just to bring that inspirational music, inspiring music to the forefront. Thank you, Pierre. That was absolutely wonderful.
That was my pleasure.
We look forward to more of you a little bit later, for sure.
We will see you then.
Absolutely, we will see you then. And welcome everybody. Just wanted to take this moment to welcome everybody to your Wednesday night manifestation. Pierre, if you'll just go ahead and video off, that'd be wonderful. By the way, welcome everyone tonight. This is an exciting night for Fred, and let me tell you why. Because I am honored to be doing my own tech tonight. And that is something that is brand new for me, and it pushes outside of a comfort zone. So I trust and know that everything is going to flow perfectly as it needs to, and that everything that needs to be known is going to be known tonight. I just trust and know that. And so I'm just glad that you've shown up tonight to give yourself this gift of 1 hour of your time that you're giving yourself to get centered and to give you that midweek boost. So with that, I would just like to invite everyone to just take a moment and come into this moment and forget everything that happened before this moment. Just recognize that right where you are is right where you need to be right here and right now. You've shown up with an intention, whatever that intention is, just allow that to be known and sit in the truth of the gift that you've given yourself. So sit in the truth of that as we go through this evening. Know that whatever you need to hear, you will hear. Wherever you are in your life is exactly where you need to be, or exactly where you were, based on everything, all the choices and everything that you've done to this point. So just allow yourself this opportunity for a new moment and new experience, to learn something new, to be transported to another level of yourself. So let go of everything that happened before this moment. Be really present this evening. I trust and know that, as I say, that everything is going to unfold perfectly. And I just welcome you with open arms. I am grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that we have this evening ready to unfold as it needs to. And I just release all tension, just release anything that doesn't belong with you right now. And just replace it with all the beautiful things and just be really present. This is your gift to yourself for showing up. Now, as the person who is actually doing the meditation tonight, I decided to do a silent meditation. I was trying to do music and technically it wasn't working out. And I thought, you know what? I love a silent meditation. And so what I want you to do, we're going to take 3 deep breaths together, and then we're going to head into the meditation. And what I'm going to invite you to do is, if you do hear any sounds, if you hear anything outside of your house, in your house, the house is creaking, or something in the background here, if there's a noise, allow that to bring you deeper into the meditation. Same is true with the noise in our mind. If your mind is cluttered, or you start thinking of other things while you're doing this meditation, while you're in this meditative state, don't allow that to make you think, oh my God, I've lost meditation. No, just allow it to flow naturally and go, oh, right, I'm meditating, and that just brings me deeper. So allow these things to actually bring you deeper into your meditation, rather than try and have something outside of yourself. I invite you to do that. So with that, I'm going to invite you to take 3 deep breaths, and we're going to take them together. On our breath in, we're actually going to think of love, light, peace, joy. And as we release our breath, we're going to release anything that no longer serves us. I usually picture like whatever color you want, but I picture like, you know, blues, pinks, oranges going in, and then I release the greens and the heavies and all the toxins. So just picture that as you take these 3 deep breaths and go deeper into this meditation. So I invite you to do that right now. We'll take a deep breath in, love, light, peace, joy. And release. And one more time, take a deep breath in. And release. Becoming really present. We'll take one more deep breath in. And release. And now that we're in this present moment, this moment of self-awareness, I want you to feel the energy that is flowing through your body. I want you to feel the energy flowing from your toes, through your legs, through your spine, up through your shoulders, into your head space. And just feel the flow of energy from within. Allowing all that blood circulation and all that beautiful flow inside. I want you to feel your feet firmly planted on the ground, and feel your buttocks firmly planted in the seat, and your back firmly pressed against what it is that you're pressed against. And as you sit with this energy that's flowing inside of your body, recognize that you are grounded to the solid ground that you are resting on. And that solid ground that you're resting on is permanent and always supports you. I want you to feel that energy that's flowing through you. I want you to feel it go through your feet and into the ground. Recognize that the energy, the atoms that are creating you, everything that you are made of, the substance that you are made of, is also made of the ground that is supporting you. In fact, if you go deeper and you go into the level of the ground, there is always movement. Feel yourself connected to that movement. The earth that we stand on communicates. Trees are constantly communicating with each other, as are plants and nutrients under the ground. And as we sit and recognize our connection to the ground, we recognize that it is all the same substance, and it is all moving in a direction. It is all moving in a direction for the highest good of the planet. And it is all just life trying to be expressed. And feel yourself connected to that ground and recognize that you too are just energy being expressed. That's what the purpose of life is. It's just an expression, just a creative expression. And we are individualized, each and every one of us. And as individualized expressions of this great movement called life and life force, we have volition, we have choice. And as I sit here and I recognize that I have choice in everything, I begin to recognize that I can make choices that are for my highest good. And just like our feet are connected to the ground, recognize this energy that is flowing through you as you feel it coming out of the top of your head. And recognize that as your feet are connected to the ground, so too is your mind connected to the universal mind or spirit or life or the universe. And it is busting through us all the time. And it is reaching for our highest good. And recognize that when we live in this energy, this internal flow of energy, and we can realize that we're connected to the energy underneath our feet and the energy in the universe and the sky, recognize that when we make choices from that place of peace, love, joy, happiness, the divine self, that is when we're making choices that serve our highest good. The highest good of everyone is served when we are living our true individualized expression from a place of love and peace and joy. As you sit quietly in this moment and recognizing that connection and feeling the vibrational energy all around you, just take a moment and realize how connected we are, not only to the ground and to the universe to the top of our head, but that energy is all around us. It is always flowing through us, and we are just energy composed of different molecules in different ways. But that we can tap into that energy that is around us all the time. For some people, we call it a gut instinct. Some people, we call it an inner knowing. And really, it's just the energy around us, guiding us. When we sit in a meditative, quiet state like this, we're actually opening up our pathways, our neurons to accepting and receiving and releasing. And so when we're receiving, we can choose to receive the things that are for our highest good, and we can choose to release the things that are not. The frequency that we live at is the frequency with which our life is made manifest. If our vibrational energy is not living in a state of love, then we are not tuned in to the right universal messages for ourselves. The beauty of it is that as we sit in that universal light energy, that we can make different decisions based on that frequency. Think of your universal frequency as a radio, a transistor radio. And you simply can tune into another channel at any time. So what channel are you turning into? What channel is inspiring you to move in the right direction for you? What channel is it that you're listening to that is bringing you the greatest joy? If your frequency is not set to a channel that feels like it's fulfilling and love-based, simply change the channel. That's the choice that we get to make. Right here, right now, I invite you to take a look at some of the choices in your life, and we refer to this as the pillars. Take a look at some of the choices you're making with your health. In this sense of peaceful vibration, what choices can you make to support higher self when it comes to health? Allow the answers to flow because you already know what they are. Sit in that for a moment and see what a better choice for you is. And now think of prosperity or wealth. What choices can you make to bring a better outcome for yourself when it comes to prosperity? Think of a couple of choices that you can make and sit in that for a moment. What does it feel like when you're feeling like you're living prosperous and you're living healthy? Go to that vibrational energy. And what does creative expression feel like? What choices could you make to have more creative expression in your life, whether it's work, family, whatever it happens to be? What are some choices that you could make? Allow the answer to come to you right now. What does it feel like when you're vibrating at that higher frequency of creative expression? Joy, love, peace. What does that feel like? And now sit in the relationships in your life. Love, but all relationships, your lovers and families and friends. What are some choices that you could make that are coming to you at this higher frequency that will bring that to a more fulfilling experience? What are some choices? And allow that feeling to concretize as well. And just recognize that as we connect to the ground that we walk on, and we recognize that we're made of the same substance, and we recognize the universe from the top of our head, from our highest self, that when we recognize our connection to that, and then we recognize the connection to all the energy that flows around us, just recognize that our choice, our volition, our decisions, and all of that also affect the vibration of each of those things. Allow yourself to really feel that connection. And if you've got an opportunity to sit quiet and to sit still and to just allow this energy to be a part of your daily expression, part of your daily life, just know that the vibrational energy and the choices start to come a lot easier. And then we start to live in this vibrational energy. And when we no longer live in this, or when there's something that comes up, a choice, and it doesn't feel right, we can feel it automatically. We just have to sit still and know it. So with that, I invite you to go back to feeling that energy that's inside of you. Bring it all back and come into this moment. Come back to this moment right here, right now. Allow yourself to feel whatever you need to feel. And trust that everything that you need to have, all the choices that you made, if there was none that came to you, do this exercise again. Sit in stillness, ask the question, and allow the choice, the answer to come to you. Namaste.
Out of the ruins and rubble, out of the smoke, out of our night of struggle, can there be a ray of hope? One pale thin ray reaching for the day. We can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels. We can build a city of man. We may not reach the ending, but we can start. Slowly but truly mending, brick by brick, and heart by heart. Now, maybe now, we'll start learning how we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels. We can build a city of man. when your trust is all but shattered, when your faith is all but killed, you can give up bitter and battered, or you can slowly start to build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but finally a city of men. A city of man.
Pierre, thank you so much. Godspell.
Yeah.
Awesome. See, tune in every Wednesday. You never know who you're going to hear or what you're going to hear. Well, we know who we're going to hear, but you
Yeah.
never know whose songs you're going to hear, because Pierre is usually doing his own, usually doing your own songs. Yeah. So it's, also entertaining that you're doing these other ones too.
Oh, it's fun to do covers every now and then, for sure.
Yeah, beautiful city. You can build a beautiful city. We're at choice. We can choose to build our beautiful cities. Think of it in terms of our internal self as well. Whatever that takes, right, Pierre?
You got it.
All right, sir. Well, listen, we will see you a little bit later.
Okay.
Thank you for that beautiful song and the beautiful opening again. That's wonderful. We will talk to you a little bit later.
Okay.
Stay well. All right, and everybody. So we are actually very honored because, I've talked many, many times about the fact that our community, although we're, way up here in the north and we're still online, and that's simply a geographical issue right now. One day, maybe that will change. Let's keep that in our consciousness. But right now, this is where we are. The beauty of it is wherever you are, is that you get to be with us. And the beauty of it also is that we have a larger community that we get to deal with. And I am so honored to introduce tonight one of the most fabulous, centered, knowledgeable people of what it is that we teach tonight, and that is Dr. Lori. So, Dr. Lori, come on in and say hello to our community. How are you tonight?
Hi, everyone. I'm wonderful. I'm so thrilled to be here.
That's awesome. Well, listen, I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to have you here. We've sort of tried this before, and life happens, and so we didn't get to introduce you till now. So what I'm going to do, probably I'll ask you a couple of questions. We'll say what this week's theme is, and then we'll get into some real chatter about getting to know a little bit more about you, because I think our community will be duly impressed, as am I. So that's that. So our theme this month, just to focus on our theme for a moment, our theme is choice. So Let me ask you, how does focusing on choice work for you?
It's a constant, isn't it? I mean, in every moment, I get to choose what I focus on. I get to choose what I put my attention on, and what I put my attention on expands. And so I can, sometimes catch myself going in a direction I don't want to go, but then it's my choice to pivot back and make a different choice. So it is constant. I can't always choose what shows up, but I can always choose my response, which then has a lot to do with what shows up, doesn't it? It's all one big circular cause and effect.
Absolutely. And I think, what's unique about our audience is that we have people who are steeped in this philosophy, even practitioners who are studying. And then we have a lot of people who are brand new to this philosophy as well. So I love that you explain it in such a way that it doesn't matter where you are. It's a reminder for those of us because it is still ongoing. You know,
Absolutely.
we're ministers. We don't have those issues anymore, right? Not true. Not true. Right?
It is such an ongoing, it's always going to be a journey. There is no rival.
No, absolutely. So in our philosophy, I mean, one of the things that we talk about when we talk about choice in our philosophy versus free will, what does that mean relating choice specifically to our philosophy? You touched on it a little bit.
Well, I think it's going back to I get to choose my response always, and what I hold in mind shows up. So I am always in total control of what I think. No one else gets to have a say in that. That is very personal. And understanding that is life-changing, right? Because I used to live my life from the outside in. I thought the outside dictated how I felt and what my choices were, and that the outside limited me because of my circumstance. Well, the second that got reversed, whoa, now suddenly the world of possibility opened up for me. And I did have free will, but I only have free will when I understand I have free will. You know?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, otherwise that the freedom isn't there until you see it's there. You have to know that is true.
Absolutely. And in our philosophy, we talk about, a God that is not the God that says, not the typical God that says you get a car and you get a car and you
It's
get a
not
car,
Oprah.
right? It's not, right? But we are God. So we are our own free
Yes.
choice, and we experience life the way that we decide to experience life. And
Yes.
that's the teaching of our philosophy. I sometimes think it would be great if we could just believe that there was this God that was sitting in the sky and sometimes it would just be so easy to relinquish that. But, and for some people, listen, if that serves you, and if that is something that serves you and works for you, then have at it. Our philosophy teaches that whatever works for you, continue to do it. That's the idea, right?
Exactly. Oh my goodness. I remember the first church I ever walked into, I met this big burly guy, Roy. Oh my God. He was gave the greatest bear hugs. And he said to me, a lot of people come through this door because they hear you can have anything you want. And then the next thing they hear is, but you're responsible. Right. And he said, and they walk right back out the door. And so we have a little bit of a tougher sell, don't we?
Absolutely.
Than the God out there who gives you stuff.
Right. Exactly. That's so very true. So speaking of the God that gives you stuff, so I'm interested in your sort of creative process, your way of knowing, when there are like 4 choices or 4 things that you could be doing. How do you decide what's right for you when there are multiple choices? Because because you know what, because sometimes for me it's like a bag of chips. I think of it like a bag of chips, right? You go into the store, they're $1, you have lots of them, you can choose, you go pickle, you can choose whatever you want, right? And so you choose one and that's what you get, and you walk out the door, right? But sometimes life has bigger choices. So what's the process for you when you're talking about choice?
So there's a reason I cracked up when you said that, because anybody who knows me knows that I'm a little bit of a this isn't it. So choices can really trip me up. And I'm talking about everyday choices. And my husband teases me. I will change 4 times in the morning, and he just walks by and very quietly says, not it, huh? It's like, oh, shut up. And if I'm tired, don't send me to the grocery store, because I have literally called my husband and said, you need to tell me to come home now because I can't decide what to get. I will put things in the cart. I will take them back out.
Right.
Now, I don't do that as much anymore because now I kind of notice when I get in that mode and it makes me laugh. And then I stop, because the second I see I'm doing it, I stop doing it. So those kind of choices, maybe not my strong suit necessarily, but the big choices, intuition.
Okay.
Intuition. And how does it feel in my body?
Right.
You know, is there a sense of spaciousness? Is there a sense of possibility? And does it excite me? Does it make me smile inside? Then that's the path.
Right.
That's the path. There's a little, it's like it's illumined before me.
Yeah.
And we talked about, you get to a stage where you and I had this conversation where there are somewhat choiceless choices, you know, that we can't step off of the path we've chosen, not because we can't, but because it literally makes us nauseous. Right? If we step out of what we know to be true, if we step out of our own standards of integrity, right? Our personal values, at some point that path narrows. And now it becomes a choiceless choice to, you know, our mission statement, love only, forgive everything, remember who you are, has helped my choices so much because when I go to get a little, all of a sudden I go, oh, wait a minute, love only. Okay, there's no choice here for me. I have to love only because I've chosen that as my personal mission statement.
Right.
Forgive everything. I don't get to be, you know, pissy here because I've decided to forgive everything. That's part of now. It may take me, there might be a little gap there,
Oh yeah.
but quickly I turn it around because that is what I've chosen. And I don't feel good when I operate outside of that.
Yeah. And so when you get to that point of making choices from that, you know,
Mhm.
the meditation that I did kind of referred to that a little bit is
Yes.
the energy around you and then pay attention. Um,
Yes.
how many of us make decisions or choices based on history that has nothing to do with where we are now because we did it before, we'll do it again. You
Yep.
know, I love that you say that, that you go to that place of peace for yourself. And, you know, for me, it's getting silent because the minute I feel that turmoil,
Mhm.
the minute I feel that off center, off principle, you know, off of that love only, forgive everything, remember who you are, the minute I feel that, I know. And sometimes I literally have to go, okay, you're feeling this, you know, where is this, where is this in your body, how does this feel, and now look around, what are you
Yes.
thinking of right now. And so sometimes, so that's a very good statement that you said, you know, be intuitive, listen to your body, know where you are, and then make a choice from there. The choices that we make from that place of knowing make all the difference. And when we're not in choice is when we let the circumstances dictate how we're supposed to feel, exactly like you said. You know,
Absolutely.
exactly like you said. And I love you. And it's funny because when you and I had that conversation, you said, oh, Fred, like I just felt like this thing inside of me and there was turmoil and I knew that I wasn't doing it. And you said, I physically felt sick. And I'm like, I say that all the time. I literally
Yep.
feel physically ill when I'm not in alignment. So I
Yes.
know making choices from that place is never good, has never worked out well for me, whether it's from anger or being upset or revenge or frustration or any of those things. Making choices from that place, you know,
Yes.
is not always good. And you know what? There's a lot of people out there who go, well, that's easier said than done. I actually change that now. I say that's easier done than said. We just have to let ourselves know that we have permission to make it easier done than
Well,
said.
that's the ultimate choice, isn't it?
It is.
It's a choice to think it's easier said than done. That's
Yeah,
a choice. To, you
absolutely
know, life is hard is a choice. That this is
right.
difficult to practice is a choice. And once you make that decision and you believe that, that's your belief, then everything you experience will fall in alignment with that. But if you believe that it's easy, and it is, I'll tell you, it's so much easier than, obviously, ease is easier than hard. Uh,
Absolutely.
so if you believe that life is filled with ease and grace and that the path is clear, then that's going to be your experience. And I love what you said in your meditation about where are you tuned into? Am I
Yeah.
tuned into K love or K, you know?
I don't like the world because the world is going to
Yeah,
show you I don't like you. And here's the
yeah,
music and conversation to support the I don't love you.
yes, yes,
I mean, just think in this world how if everybody made the choice to be fully present and fully live from that place of love only, forgive everything, and remember who they are, how this world could change. I mean,
Yes.
that's our mission. Actually, that's kind of what I always feel as a minister, that's what I'm called to remind people of, is their own abilities, their own greatness, their own choice, all
Yes.
of those things. So it's perfect that we're meeting you this time on this month when our focus is place.
Yes. Yes. One of my favorite themes so far that we've had.
Absolutely, me too. So listen, we have a mission statement. So what we usually do is, do you want to read the mission statement? Because what we usually do, if you've got it, if not, I can do it. It's fine.
I don't think I do.
Okay, well then I've got it. So let me do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the mission statement. Then I'm going to read it a second time, and I invite you all, wherever you are, let everybody think you're crazy. It doesn't matter, but read it out loud. Unless you're at work or something and you might get in trouble, then just read it in your head. But do this with me. I'm going to read it once. I stand in the freedom to choose the life I desire. So now let's say that together. I stand in the freedom to choose the life I desire. And you know what? We're going to concretize it one more time because I like it so much. We're going to do it one more time. Here we go. I stand in the freedom to choose the life I desire. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm, as I said, Dr. Laurie, I'm so glad that you're here. You're not new to the community. First of all, I would like to quickly say that. Also, and I'm going to get you to tell us a little bit about you and how you came to this philosophy. Before I do that, I want to let everybody know, for those of you who took courses, Dr. Laurie actually ran the last part 2 of the course, and part 3 will be coming up soon. Watch for announcements on that. But Dr. Laurie ran the class, and what was it? Mystical?
The Mystical Universe.
Universe. Beautiful. How was it?
It was wonderful. I tell you, I had the best students, and they so contributed, and it was just a wonderful, rich conversation that we had. So I really, really enjoyed being with this community.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, that's your foray into the community, and now you're going to be more immersed into the community. And I just want to tell everybody, first of all, I was in ministerial school with Dr. Laurie, who went on to get her doctorate. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But I was in ministerial school with you, and I have to let everybody know, I mean, Dr. Laurie was one of the students in the class that would put together questionnaires for us, because she's so steeped in the knowledge and the theory of everything, so we're learning all about spirits and rebellion and Phineas Quimby, and after a while the names start to go, even when we studied in our psychology section, when we had to study psychologists, I mean, Dr. Laurie was the one who could put all of that information together and then send it out as like questionnaires to everybody.
I was the queen of Quizlet.
Yes.
Which is a website where you can create flashcards in games, matching games,
right.
All kinds of wonderful study tools and practice tests. And I went in there and did hundreds of questions, which I shared with my ministerial buddies.
Yes, she did. And we are all so grateful for those, just so you know. But actually, our history goes back even a little bit further than that.
It does.
Because back in 2011, September 2011, I was doing boot camps, the mental muscle boot camps. And boy, if you ever get a chance to do that, community, sign up with Dr. James Mellon, absolutely. But anyway, I was doing these boot camps. I did 5 of them online with Dr. James and other students. And then we had this retreat in LA. I go to this retreat, and it was Michelle, who was our president of our board and one of our practitioners. There was a friend of his that had done the boot camps with us, and myself. And we got on this airplane, and even though we'd all chosen our seats at different times, we all ended up sitting right across from each other. Like it was, we all went, are you kidding? I mean, this is a big plane. There are like 3 seats, 2 seats, and 2 seats. How did we end up sitting so close? That's the way it was meant to be. And then there was a lady sitting beside me who was reading a book called Wayne Dyer book, Excuses Be Gone or something. And I said, oh, I love that book. And she said, so we chatted very briefly. And she said, where are you going? And I said, oh, I'm going to a bit of a retreat in NoHo. Oh, no, I didn't even say no. I said, we're going to a bit of a retreat. And she went, James Mellon? And I went, Pardon me? I mean, of all the people to sit beside, this lady said, my mother is in her 90s and she goes to James's Center, it was the NoHo Art Center. And she said, and I was thinking of something to do with her. And then she said, by the way, you know this couple, it's Dawn and Lori. It is Dawn, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dawn and Lori. Say hi to them for me. So I was like, oh, for sure I'm going to meet Dawn and Lori because this woman out of the blue said Dawn and Lori. So the very first night that I got there, we got there and we were known as the Canadians on the trip. In that big, large room on the Friday night where it was just so beautiful. I mean, Levi Christ was there, Tony Award winner, Amy Armstrong was there. There were so many talented people there. And I, and then I got called up onto stage and I did a little thing about boot camp, a little talk about boot camp. Anyway, who did I meet that night? Of course, I met Dr. Lori. And I met Dawn, and it has been an amazing pleasure to have known you all that period of time, and it's just been a joy ever since. So I'm so honored that you're part of this. When we talked about moving our center forward, you were one of the first names that came to mind.
Oh, thank you. I'm so honored to be here, and what a journey we've been on. From
Yeah,
back then, right?
absolutely.
That touch point, that first time we met to where we are today. Just an
Absolutely.
amazing unfoldment for both of us.
Yeah. So, Dr. Lori, how did you come to this philosophy? Tell me a little bit about that.
I think I was born with it. I really, really do. I lived in Massachusetts. There, oddly enough, given it's the birthplace of New Thought, or one of the birthplaces,
Imagine.
maybe an hour from Concord, right? Emerson's backyard. There was no New Thought, and I grew up Catholic. But by the time I was 6, I decided it didn't make any sense. Very early on, very young, I thought, oh no, this doesn't work for me. That's, I no. And I remember being outside laying in the grass, and I must have been meditating, even though I was just, yay big, and suddenly just had this amazing mystical experience. And it anchored in something into me, which was God was everything, everywhere. And that lived in my heart. And although I think I forgot for a time, I don't think I did forget for a time, but it never went away. And so when I moved to California 23 years ago, I was invited to the Foothill Center of Religious Science. And I went and I walked in and burst into tears and probably spent the first month crying because I honestly thought I was the only one. I mean, I felt so alone up until that point with my beliefs, and I kind of kept them to myself, to be honest. And here I was in a room full of other people who thought exactly what I did. And I was just overcome and all in immediately. And it was a life-changing moment. That decision, that choice to show up that Sunday changed the entire trajectory of my life. I met my husband there.
Wow.
I mean, it changed everything.
And when you know, right? And
Yes.
so that's so it's like I think almost everybody who's walked into a center has had that experience. It's
Yes.
kind of overwhelming. You want to run.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're like, but oh my gosh, every word is like I've known this every word my whole life,
Yes.
and now I'm actually feeling it, and I'm
Yes.
it's actually living inside of me already. How did this happen, right?
That's exactly it. It's already
Yeah,
there. And that moment just
yeah,
activated what I already felt and knew. And I was using these principles at that point to move my life forward,
right,
but I was using them accidentally. I
right.
didn't really understand what I was doing, but I kind of stumbled onto this whole idea that I could change the focus of my attention
Beautiful,
and create my life in a different way.
beautiful.
And I proved it to myself. And
Yeah.
then I had a container to hold all of that experience that I had inside
Mm,
my mind.
beautiful. And you actually had now, so if you want to get personal for a minute, and we don't have much more time because we've already talked so much, which is awesome, by the way. By the way, you actually are going to be guest speaker at the Center of Westminster often too. So people will get to know your story even more. But there's one story in particular about when it came to going outside. I'll let you tell the story and how this philosophy sort of moved you through that as well.
Well, I was agoraphobic for many, many years and didn't really venture too far from my house for probably about 15 years.
Yeah, and agoraphobia is just where you cannot
kind of
go
fear
outside.
of everything, fear
Yeah,
of
okay.
outside, but really
Okay.
it was,
Right.
internal, just fear of everything, really.
Right.
And every time I got even a little distance from my house, I would like almost melt down. I mean, I just couldn't do it. Like I felt like I was having a heart attack or I was going to pass out. It was just horrid. And I remember walking my dog one day and getting halfway around my block and having to turn around. And there was something in that moment that I went, enough. I'm done now. I'm done with this. And I meant it. And there was, the second I meant it, it shifted. And intuition came in and prompted me forward. And I, I moved past it. It was a moment of incredible grace, but it was also a moment of choice because I could have ignored that intuition. I could have changed my mind about moving forward, but I didn't. I meant it when I said I was done now. Those are powerful words. When you say I'm done now with something and you really truly mean it, that door closes and a new door opens and you can't go back anymore.
Yeah,
That's
because
how
you're
you
not.
know you're really done.
That's right, because you're not trying anymore, and now you're just
No,
done. Right.
no.
So that's an incredible story, and I do look forward to our community knowing more about that from you. I absolutely adore you. I am so honored to be sitting here with you in this way, and how it's just unfolds naturally with you. It always has, it always will. And I know you've got some great things in the can that are occurring now that that we'll talk about more in at other times. And you will be, as I say, guest speaker at the center. So I do look forward to that. I thank you so much for your consciousness around this. I know that somebody out there has heard something that they need to hear. So I know
I
that.
hope you heard that no matter where you are, this is the moment. This is the moment where you can choose again,
yes.
whatever you want.
Yes.
That's all you need to know. It's all right here in this moment. Your intuition will never fail you. Listen to your heart and take that step in the direction that you've chosen to go. And all is well. If you hear nothing else, hear this. All is well right here, right now.
Yes. Yes. So I don't even have to put a little cherry on that. I'm just going to say namaste, because that is exactly what the message is. And that's what people need to hear right now. So that is wonderful. That is wonderful. So we'll see you in a couple of minutes. I'm just going to go on, and I'm just going to right now just basically let everybody know. I mean, this is what your Wednesday gift is. This is what brought you here this week. What I'm going to ask you right now is, if it's in your heart to give to our center. We are run on donation, and we are in this evolutionary process. Don't ever give because you feel obligated or anything like that. It's energy. Love is energy. Money is energy. Energy is always flowing. Just know like that. If it's difficult or you're in a situation where you can't do that right now, then don't. But if it's in your heart to do so, then do so. We appreciate it. And you can do that. If you're watching in the US, you can go to our website, globaltruthcentertoronto.com, and you can click on donation, and there is a PayPal option there if you're in the US. Or if not, you can click on the donate and do that. You can pay, I believe, through credit card, or I'm not really sure, but go there and you'll be prompted with what to do if that's of interest to you. You can also do a donation through email at info@globaltruthcenter.com. Info@globaltruthcentertoronto.com. So if you can help us out, that'd be great. And if not, you've got your hour. Just allow yourself that hour and keep giving yourself that gift. Keep coming back. I mentioned that Dr. Lori was teaching on module 2. That is now done. Class is done there. We're going to be starting class 3 in the next couple of weeks. We're just in the process of laying the groundwork out for that. Pay attention for that. You know, this philosophy, it doesn't matter when you come into the teaching or the learning, you can pick it up and you'll get great benefit from whatever it is that you're learning throughout the process too. So with that, at this point, I would just like to say thank you. And, you know, Pierre and Dr. Lori, come on back. I would like to say a special thank you to Pierre, of course. Pierre, you're a fabulous musician. I'm so glad that you donate your Wednesday nights to us like this. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Dr. Lori, I cannot wait to hear and to see where this goes, this journey. You're on a journey. And I know your journey's on a new journey. I'm on a journey. I know that there's collaborative things happening that we don't even know right now. So just trust that. And I'm so grateful that you brought your consciousness here tonight. Our community, I'm grateful that you brought your consciousness to the center as well. Thank you for connecting with us. Connect with each other. Know that even if we're not seeing each other, that we are connected and you're not alone. Know that you're not alone and that you are loved. We are all loved. That is our birthright. We are all loved. So know that as well. With that, I would like to say, Pierre, why don't you play our final song and play us out, sir?
Okay.
Awesome.
Make the stars look like they're not shining. Your hair falls perfectly without you trying. You're so beautiful, you should say it every day. Oh, you know, I'd never ask you to change. If perfect's what you're searching for, just stay the same. Don't even bother asking if you look okay. You know I'll say, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. The way you are, the way you are, you're amazing, just the way you are. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. The way you are, the way you are, you're amazing.
as are you amazing, and as is everyone in this community. Go out, have a great week. Enjoy yourself, everyone. Namaste. Make beautiful choices. Make the choices that work for you. Just do that. All right.